yesterday, sources telling our Adrian Wojnarowski and Ramona Shelburne that James Harden continues to push for a trade from the Rockets. This despite Houston bringing in John Wall just a few weeks ago in a trade that involved Russell Westbrook. And now Harden going back on the floor, and here he is. Woj is back with us in studio. Delight to see you. So what can you tell us? Where do we stand right now with Harden in Houston?
Well, he's likely going to play tonight against the Spurs, but he's made it clear as he's come in, had his first practice yesterday, that the arrival of John Wall and however John Wall looked or how Boogie Cousins has looked in the preseason so far is not impacting his thinking. He wants a trade. Brooklyn, Philadelphia are still the two teams he would most like to go to. And the Rockets continue to work on trying to see if there's a way that they can get maximum value for a player they consider one of the best five in the league, and they certainly aren't going to just give away.
Right. So let's talk about that, because this is not Anthony Davis going into the final year of his contract. Carmelo Anthony, once upon a time. He can say where he wants to go, but he really can't dictate it with the same kind of leverage that players closer to the end of their deals could. So how does that factor into this?
Well, ultimately teams who would trade for him have to decide, number one, do we want to re-sign him long term? If you are trading for a player of his stature, you're giving up the assets you're going to have to give up that Houston wants in this deal. You're thinking it's a longer-term play for James Harden, but he has 2 years left on his deal, really 3 years, but a player option in that third year. And so, and there's very few teams really that are in this, Greeny, because there are so few who have the combination of draft picks, a young player that would really interest the Rockets, and also being a contender. There's very few. Philly's at the top of that list.
Okay, so we keep an eye on Philly, Brooklyn, and you never know. Sometimes a surprise works its way into the mix. And then there's the other contract situation everyone is watching, and that is Giannis in Milwaukee. Where are we there?
Well, he has got until Monday to make a decision on that supermax, 5 years, $228 million before the start of the season. And listen, I think part of the thought process for Giannis right now is, and it speaks, I think, to his character, that he is taking his time with this. Other players look at this decision and say, okay, I can sign for the 228, and if I don't like things in a couple years, I can push for a trade out. Giannis thinks differently. When he makes a commitment, he makes a commitment. He believes in it. And so he's got a lot to think through here. He's got time on this decision still into this week. But listen, I think he loves Milwaukee. I think he's very fond of that organization. He is looking short-term, long-term. Can I win a championship here? Can I win championships here? And he's got a little more time here to make this decision, but he's still working through all those thoughts.
So just to make sure everyone is clear, Monday is the deadline for the super max. Doesn't mean that he can't re-sign with them after that if he wants. It would just be at a little bit less money, right?
Right, and it would make less sense. If you're going past Monday, you're essentially headed toward either free agency or signing with them after next season.
Okay, so obviously these next couple of days are very important. Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.